Well, good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor. We're back with another video. Make sure you check out the hats, check out all of the good stuff on Back4X1. Leeds links in the description below. On the Patreon now, we're doing a giveaway, a really nice giveaway. And yeah, the question is quite fun as well. So you just have to answer a question, and I'm going to pick at random someone through a generator, and one of you is going to win. And I'm going to get you something. So make sure you head on over to the Patreon. It's building right now. It's great to see so many people over there. We've got loads of stuff prepared as well, which I'm really excited for. So make sure you check that out, everybody. Okay, so what we're speaking about today, before I need to ask you to like, comment, and subscribe as always, but we're going to be speaking about Willy Gnonto and the potential movement of this individual. Now, more news has come out over the last couple of days about potential transfers and the likelihood of where he's going to go. Now, originally we probably thought of English clubs. We probably looked at your Crystal Palaces, your Evertons, but maybe as well the likelihood now is a Southampton and Ipswich, and obviously a Leicester City. Leicester, I'm not 100% sure how much they'd be able to deal with Leeds when it comes to the financial. I mean, would Leeds even deal with Leicester? I know that sounds ridiculous, but would they just bump up those fees because of the irritants that Leicester have given Leeds United over the past month and a bit, the headaches of social media, player involvement when it comes to just berating Leeds and all this sort of stuff. It's all fun and games when you're on the right side of it, but when you're on the wrong side of it, it's horrible. But yeah, would they just increase the deal a little bit when it comes to Leicester? That'd be interesting. Southampton are one to look at, but I think they're okay when it comes to wingers, but they'll probably be wanting some youth, a bit of revitalization there. Obviously, Stuart Armstrong Brooks is going to go back to Bournemouth, so it's going to be interesting to see how they move in terms of that winger strategy, because I know Martin can play a 3-4-3, a 4-3-3 at points as well. It's going to be fascinating to see how the promoted clubs go about this, because I've mentioned them with Joe Rodon as well. Are you going to get like an Ipswich? You've got Burgess and Wolfenden at the back looking to step up and get another centre-back who can do it at that level. I think potentially that might happen. It's been sort of quiet on the Premier League front at this moment in time when it comes to the promoted clubs, but clubs who are looking at big deals is Crystal Palace. Manchester United are looking at a deal for Elise, and apparently one of Crystal Palace's big targets is going to be Crysensio Summerville. If that is to happen, he very much fits the tricky, nimble winger that Crystal Palace always seem to go for, and they do have a pathway with these Championship players that they also invest in that seem to make it in the Premier League as well. So yeah, that'll be interesting to keep an eye on. But when we're looking at Willy Gnonto, I think it's fascinating to see where he's going to go, because Everton, I don't think are going to go for him. They seem to have it sorted in terms of Harrison, who's now got another loan sort of option in his contract. So Everton are probably going to pursue that again. So they're going to get Jack Harrison back. They're going to have Dwight McNeil on the other side as well, Calvert-Lewin through the middle. But I don't think Willy Gnonto right now fits that profile. They had a very, very different profile when they were looking at him at the start of the season. You know, Harrison was very much not tried and tested in a Sean Dyche system, and Willy Gnonto was that X factor really. But has Willy Gnonto really shone this year? I mean, I like him from a technical standpoint. I really like Willy Gnonto. But if you're an Everton scout, would you go out and spend the money that they were talking about spending on him at the beginning of the season, which is 25 million quid? That was the rumoured fee. I don't think you would, and that's probably still what Leeds are going to be looking for him. Now, will his value have depreciated because Leeds are going to have a second year in the Championship? Probably, but probably not by as much as you think. He's still a young lad. He's on a decent contract. He's at Leeds United now. He's still one of the best players in the division. His technical ability is on a different scale when it comes to other wingers in this division. So I do think he's a massive asset for Leeds United, and I'd be more than happy if he was with us at the start of September or end of August. But I think right now it's going to be fascinating to hear about the Italian sides, and apparently the Italian side are starting to crank up the heat when it comes to Willy Gnonto. Fiorentina are one, Inter Milan are another, and Roma are another as well, looking at the services of Willy Gnonto. Now, he's not been involved in the Italian side, which has been quite interesting, because Mancini made him very, very much almost the Italian poster boy. If we remember some of the friendlies that they had earlier on this year and before, he was on the poster. He was on the Spain are playing Italy per se background picture, Willy Gnonto. So he was almost like the star boy who was coming through. The playing in a not sort of number 9 position, and that was sort of his way forward. Now, does he need to be part of the Italian setup to be able to get more as in the Italian pyramid to get more recognition on the Italian stage? I wouldn't say so, but when it comes to cohesion and synergy and understanding of, because the Italian players don't really leave Italy, So does he need to be within that sort of insular structure to be able to get recognised more? You'd say surely not, because the Premier League or the Championship and the Premier League are the best in the world. But are they going to be looking at Willy Gnonto as a proper option, Premier League clubs are spending that sort of money on him? The Italian clubs don't have the capital whatsoever of Premier League clubs. It doesn't work like that. However, you have seen, especially when it comes to Inter Milan, especially when it comes to Roma, you do see big deals going through. It doesn't necessarily need to be big transfer deals. It's big wages. Over the past couple of years, obviously, Roma have taken on big players on big wages, So this is something that we need to take into consideration. But you're into Milan's as well. They have got capital. They've got decent capital. You look at the players of that club, the fact that they're in the Champions League most year. So 20 million quid isn't going to be like blow out the water stuff. And with a player who has the international potential ceiling capacity in terms of being that star boy that Willy Gnonto has, the fact that he's only a really, really young lad, and the fact that he's not played in Serie A before, really, has he? Consistently used to be at Inter Milan. That is the big link right now. Because obviously he moved from Inter Milan, wanted to get more minutes, was bombed out, and that is probably going to be the club at this moment in time that, from publications in Italy, they are interested in him and they're looking at Willy Gnonto now. So those three clubs are the ones looking at him, but it looks probably like Inter Milan are going to be the ones that you're eyeing up as Leeds fans and saying, okay, interesting. Now, how much is that going to be? I mean, from my perspective, everybody, I'm still looking at 20, 25 million quid for Willy Gnonto, but I'm really interested to hear what you guys think is almost a realistic figure for him. I don't know, but watch the Italian clubs a little bit more, because I'm not sure, apart from the bottom three that have gone up, I don't really know what other club is going to be looking at Willy Gnonto right now from the season he's just had. From the season he had in the Premier League, we've got to bear in mind when we're in the Premier League and we got relegated on Jesse Marsh, Grazia and Allardyce, that absolute car crash. He was probably the best Leeds United player, and probably the best Leeds United player going down at that point. Everyone was looking at him. But now he's been overtaken by Rutter, he's been overtaken by Summerville, there's Ethan Ampadu in there, and the hysteria around Willy Gnonto has diminished a little bit, and that does play a part. You'd be really, really surprised. The problem is with Willy Gnonto's agent, he has a reputation of getting players out of clubs extremely quickly. Go and have a look at who it is, and you'll see the players affiliated with him. Zaniolo is another one, obviously, who's on loan at Aston Villa. They share agents, and Zaniolo's on the move constantly, always wanting signing on bonuses, always wanting this, that, and the other. So I think he played a huge part in Willy Gnonto at a young age as well, moving out and been an issue at Leeds United at the beginning of the season. His agent is a problem when it comes to just getting out of clubs and moving on. So I do think Willy will move on this window, but I don't think it's going to be to a club that you probably think. I think it is going to be to an Italian club. Leeds might have to deal with an Italian club as well to be able to really get that sort of just any financing for Willy Gnonto, which might have to be tested a little bit this window. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Fascinated to hear what your thoughts on this one. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Head on over to the Patreon. Check out the merchandise as well. Link in the description below. And I'll see you in a bit.